You know, there's a lesson here. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful because you might just get it. We've spent about a month in the summer saying, look at all this dead air between the draft and mini camps and the start of training camp. Like, let's. I wish we had something to fill the gap. I wish we had action. I wish we had news. I wish we had updates on these players about who's breaking out, people starting to get injured. I wish we had some of that. Well, we've got it, and it kind of sucks, doesn't it, guys?
A
Not
little
full
bit.
team yet. Knock on wood.
So,
I'm pretty ready to start liquidating my whole team just for draft assets, so I can just build the team for week one. What do you think?
yeah, I mean, we're getting to that point, but I think we haven't had the big name go down yet. Like we've had a lot of smaller names and starter level names. Barmore is a big name on defense, but you know, we haven't had a big guy go down yet. And I don't know if that's Olave at a practice today or what that is. So I'm bracing for the pain that's still to come. But it's okay, guys. We got news. We got stuff to talk about. But so we'll talk about some of that, some of camp news, some of the teams that are being hit already by drug suspensions, by injuries, by surprise rookies, by not being able to catch a ball and causing a guy to get really jacked in a meme. All the stuff from training camp so far that's kind of catching our eye. So we'll do that this time, then we'll get back to some of the normal content you all know and love around kind of prepping for the season, power ranks, trades teams need to make, stuff like that. But we don't want to use those go-tos all of the time because then you get tired of them. And we don't want that. But like I said, three people I can't get tired of. We got Eagles, Giants, and Panthers here. That's probably the longest intro I've done in a while, so I apologize for that.
It was a fantastic intro.
And you got the Fantastic Four together today.
You know, I was thinking about the nickname. Do I say something snarky and sarcastic? Do I roll with it? I don't know what to do. I'm still kind of weighing that out. So I'm going to reserve judgment on that nickname and see kind of how this works. But I like it. Anyways, we've got camp news, and then we'll talk some of the trades that have gone down. I think some decent sized ones since last week, but this will be a only pod of this week, so we'll give ourselves a little bit more time for more stuff to happen going forward. But nonetheless, injuries and suspensions have been the big news. RJ, you've already lost two guys, right?
Uh, one to injury, one will most likely be out for the year due to blood clots.
Is that true? It'll be the year?
I mean, my expectation is the year. The only thing comparable we have is Chris Bosch.
Yeah, that's true.
There was someone else. Well, give me a second. There's someone else. I just can't remember him off the top of my head. It's happened recently.
So I feel like I should turn this over to you, Adam Schefter style, and you just start rattling off news that you had throughout the day, and we all nod and smile, and maybe make one or two intelligent comments and a lot of BS ones.
Yeah, he's our league fake Shefty account.
Exactly. But just kind of going down the teams here. Chiefs had a couple of had some bad luck this week too, right? With some of his injuries and some of his suspensions. Yeah, Denico Autry getting suspended, Ekubam going out for the season with his injury, and then Amenaho has the I'm trying to remember what was.
Isn't he still injured?
Yeah, that was from last year. He just started.
Right?
Yeah, he started on the pup, if I'm not mistaken.
And then the confirmation that every Jerome Ford owner was waiting for. Chubb is going to not be healthy to start the year and very possibly start on the IR. So there you go. You got a couple of doubleheader weeks where he's going to be very useful to have, which was the hope everyone who bought him was banking on.
Yep. Not surprised, honestly.
Yeah, so it was David Andrews was the last NFL player to have blood clots, and he did miss an entire season.
He was a guard for the Pats, right?
Guard center. He did a little bit of both.
I feel like you weren't on the Pats in that era without being able to play at least 3 positions.
Exactly. So yeah, let's hope he just gets that IR designation soon, so I can.
That's honestly like the biggest thing holding activity back. I feel like is so many of our teams are like either capped for cap years or roster space, and it makes any kind of deal a lot harder to make right now. Some IR designations would be sweet.
Yep. They will come when they make. Go ahead, James.
The 49ers also had 2 retirements this week.
Like the actual team, our team 49ers?
Yeah, Rashad Penny announced his retirement, and Michael Gallup with his retirement. So he lost 2 to retirement. You lost 2 to injury, plus you have the holdout. The Chiefs has the suspension and the injury. And then the Colts just lost Roman Wilson for a couple of weeks with an ankle problem.
Okay, did I diagnose that?
Yeah.
He was carted off today, but I did see that they expect him to be ready by week 1.
Yeah, it's an ankle sprain. It's saying 2 to 3 weeks, so who knows? Being a rookie, he's probably going to miss just enough time that they're probably going to bring him in probably week 3, would be my guess.
And then I'm just kind of using the NFL teams from here. So you mentioned Roman. Bateman left the field early, right?
He did, but I haven't seen any follow-up stuff on it.
Okay.
Probably just exhaustion from showing out the past few days. Because apparently he's been doing really well.
Yep. We've got our hold-ins all over the place here. Jamar Chase with the Bengals. Trent Williams with the Niners. Brandon Ayuk with the Niners. Who
I
else?
thought Brent Williams wasn't holding in. I thought he was just straight up holding out.
Trent Williams, yeah, I think so. I think Brandon was at practice and left the field at some point. It was a big question of, is it a trade? Is it contract work, or what's going on here? But the hold-ins seem to be the big things. The CD got paid, so it's only a matter of time probably.
Is that official? I don't think that's official.
Yeah.
I thought it was 116, 118 is what they had
It's
said.
been talked, but it hasn't been done yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
That had to have happened recently because DJ Moore got paid as of like an hour and a half ago.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's one of those things with these guys right now where it's, and I know you have to find the numbers to make it work, but it's just pay the guy. Like, pay him and figure it out, especially if the Niners this year. Like, say yes, structure it how you need to pay the guy what you need to pay him. And then, if you have to cut half the team next year, do it, whatever.
Well, I think the biggest boiling point is the Bengals. They've tagged T. Higgins. It's essentially already broken off. He's not going to get a long-term extension. Trey Hendrickson wants an extension, more guaranteed money, this, that, and the other. They won't even talk to him. That's been broken off. Now you've got Jamar, who wants his extension and everything. And I don't know if you guys have been following the structure of all these quarterback deals. Some of them are very team-friendly. Like Jordan Love with the Packers, the first 3 years is pretty comfortable for him. There's easy renegotiation window after that to fix everything, do everything. Burrow's contract is essentially the cap number every year. It's not very spread out. They're going to have to do it year to year. And with everything going on right now, it seems like not a pretty place to be.
Yeah, that's true. Um, then, in terms of some of the rookies that have started seeing success, obviously there's the BTJ comments that you were, so kind to share with us. I can't think of any other reason why you shared them with us, but just out of kindness and sharing information. Pearsall finally got on the field in San Francisco and did things not necessarily good, just but started the process. Drake May, I feel like, has been showing out with Baker and Polk, although I feel like there's a little bit of Mayo trying to be a little bit too much D'Amico Ryans, a little bit too much Bill Belichick, and not enough Jared Mayo.
No, just so like yes, all of that is true. Drake May has been making some good throws. Like both of the wide receivers have been looking good, but like the caveat to that is they're working with the twos, like that. They're all backups right now. Like the starters are doing their own thing, but everybody's watching all the rookies who are backups right now. And of course, that can change in the next few weeks, but Jacoby's the starter there.
Yep. Let's see.
No, it's definitely important to note with a lot of the stuff coming out, like today with the Jags, and the reason I really posted the BTJ stuff was they had their first padded practice in Jacksonville. The Giants have already had 4. So we've seen a lot of neighbors, this, that, and the other, all this stuff coming out. You only get so many padded practices, and teams decide when they want to use them. So it really skews the kind of information we're getting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, has neighbors looked good? I haven't been following.
Well, the best part about it is how bad Daniel Jones looks throwing him the football.
Yeah, when Daniel Jones throws a spiral and it doesn't look like somebody just punted the ball, then yeah, Neighbors looks really good catching it.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of Malik's down there somewhere throws from DJ this year. Which you know what, it worked for Blake Bortles. It could work for Daniel Jones. Who knows?
You know what? That's probably actually perfect scenario right there because it's going to be that Jacksonville O-line. Oh, what happened? Bortles was sacked how many times this year? Just 73. Just 73 sacks, 16 games. Sounds about right.
And that's the thing. It's almost like with that defense and with now a receiver that can lead the offense with enough other pieces, like this team could be a Jacksonville clone from back in the day where it's like, really? How the shit did that team win 13 games?
Oh, God. Is this you're still talking about the Giants?
Yeah.
No. We're not winning 13.
Did you see who their running backs are?
Yeah. Devin Singletary.
I think Singletary is solid, but uninspired.
So again, I feel like the Jags are the perfect comparison for the Giants because think about that team too. Blake Bortles was the quarterback where everyone's like, okay, this guy's terrible. What are they thinking? Fred Taylor was the running back who was one of the most disrespected running backs in the league, I feel like, where he was always consistently solid, but because he never made any of the All-Pro or Pro Bowl teams because he was never flashy enough. Like that feels like Devin Singletary to a T. Again, it's not a perfect comparison, but I think there's a little bit more overlap here, and it would just be hilarious is after the Commanders take their quarterback of the future, everyone gets hyped about them. The Eagles are making another run at it. The Cowboys are loaded for bear for one last time, and then the Giants come out of nowhere. Like this is how it happens in the NFC East, and I feel like there's 2 or 3 teams like that this year that people are overlooking.
Well, I would be thrilled with a 13-win season, but I kind of think it's going to be more like 8 or 9.
I guess the question would have to be if somehow the Giants did rip off 13 and win the division, would Bill Simmons have to rename the Ewing theory to the Barkley theory?
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah, I think
in a mailbag.
Yeah.
I think the East is going to be a lot of fun this year. I think the most fun out of all the divisions is going to be the NFC West. I think the NFC West is being slept on for how competitive it's getting.
It's going to be a bloodbath. Like the number 1 seed is not coming out of the West this year. The Rams got better. The Cardinals got a whole lot better. The Seahawks still look dangerous, and San Francisco is. We are a glass cannon.
I think the big thing is they're going to be shrewd again. The 49ers will be. Like, it's going to be another one of these. You blink, and all of a sudden they've picked up 2 defensive linemen out of nowhere that are going to really help them and rotate and do well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think all 4 of those teams are going to kill each other. Like, I don't think anyone can come in and say the Cardinals are not going to be fighting. Like, look how well they did last year. There was plenty of games they shouldn't have been in, and they fought to the very end. Like, even the very end of the season, it doesn't matter. You win or not against the Eagles, your season's over, and they went and bullied the Eagles before the Eagles go to the playoffs and then get bullied by the Bucs. So,
well, the Eagles also lost 7 straight games at that point.
Yeah, they completely imploded. Which Philly, New York Jets. There's several teams where, and Jacksonville are all 3 kind of like pressure cookers this year for me, because if T-Law comes out and looks straight up bad, which I don't believe he will, there's a lot of problems last year, a lot of health stuff. But if the Jets are bad this year, it's reboot time 20, right? Because it's rough.
That's true. But I think that can be said for a lot of teams right now, unfortunately, where they're fooling themselves into being competitive. But I feel like there's going to be 2 or 3 of them that start 0-5, fire their coaches, and then it's say, all right, is this team going to be where Shader Sanders goes, and is that going to be okay with Dion? But speaking of Utes, let's talk rookies again. A couple of situations where injuries have opened up opportunity. Lailu Latu looks like if he produces where he should, is going to be starting on the other side of the greatest defensive end in the league, Kwity Paye.
Well, they still got Deo.
Yeah, again, with
Like,
Eckenbaum getting moved, there's an opportunity for far increased role in the rotation.
Yeah, I just feel like that's the deepest of the teams to have edge issues. Like in Dallas, I honestly don't know who we're going to rely on now. It's not pretty for us.
And then Buffalo, I've heard good things about Keon Coleman, but then I feel like everything is good about everybody. Like, it's that fluff piece that you get from the beat writer that has, this guy did great, this guy did great, and even though this quarterback got picked off 3 times in 11 on 7-on-7 drills, he looked good. Like, there's nothing but positivity about everybody. But good vibes coming from the Bills. Just trying to think. Hard Knocks. It was the Giants offseason, and now it's the Bears for training camp, right?
Yep.
Excellent. It's gonna be fun.
Apparently, JJ McCarthy's been having a rough ride.
Most of
It's
the
hilarious because I think
quarterbacks.
everyone's saying since he was the national champion, he was the most pro ready, and it seems like every other quarterback taken has got a higher chance of starting than JJ does right now.
Not Bo Nix.
Not Bo Nix.
No. Jared Stidham's been the best quarterback in their training camp.
Okay, because maybe it's just Twitter sound sphere, but it sounds like everything coming from there is that Bo Nix has kind of impressed everybody and taken the lead. So if it's Studham, then that's fine, but that's news.
Yeah, it's been all over the place from what I've seen, because they were one of the weird ones where they've done a lot of red zone situational stuff to try to put extra pressure on the quarterbacks in that cycle. And I saw something about Bo threw an interception, then threw 3 straight touchdowns in the red zone series that they had going on out there. But that's one. It's gonna be one of those interesting ones I think we all expect it to be Bo. You know, if Sean Payton is like, oh, he's my guy, they said all this, that, and the other, he's going to start. And I don't really know if Stidham is the guy that's going to keep him off the field by week 1. If he is off the field by week 1, it'll be really interesting.
Probably not, but as of right now, he's the one that's, apparently playing better from other people's opinions, not necessarily the coach.
Tis true. Let's see. The Chiefs are clowning around, doing quadruple passes between Mahomes and Tony, who is lining up at running back, getting some time at quarterback and gadget plays. Is Kadarius Toney the next Antoine Randall?
Talking about that actually, going back to your Ohio State and going even back to when he was a high schooler, Curtis Samuel's been lining up at RB for the Bills because apparently all the RB2s there have been disappointing.
What? That doesn't make any sense. Frank Gore Jr.'s there. Ty
Johnson got hurt yesterday.
Yep. So it sounds like Curtis Samuel's going to have a little bit more of a move around role potentially.
I mean, that could be fun. He was, again, lining up at running back at Ohio State. Let's see.
Running back out of high school.
So have you guys heard about the whole, coverage and everything going on with the Raiders training camp?
What about it?
What?
So basically, because they're going to Los Angeles, and that is technically the Rams and the Raiders area where they're going to hold their camp. The Rams and the Chargers are allowed to prevent the Raiders from advertising what their camp is, talk about what's going on there, and kind of restrict who's able to go. And they are. So the Raiders are kind of having a bit more of a secret camp, not super secret, but still, a little bit more off the public eye because the Rams and the Chargers are blocking it, which I think is hilarious because if anything, that exposure and that coverage is just going to give you more information on what's going on there. But instead, they're cutting off their ability to get that information to prevent potentially making money on, I don't know, preseason games. Feels like the biggest cut off your nose to spite your face move that I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All the quarterbacks are getting bags. Congratulations to Jordan Love. Congratulations to Tua. Now we just need – that's what we need. We need a Dak trade.
Go somewhere that's willing to pay him.
Again, I don't know. That would just be like trade Dak to the Raiders for Aiden O'Connell on a first. Like I feel like that's where Dak belongs. He belongs in Vegas, on a team that is a bit of outcast and everything like that, with a receiver who can make the difference and just say, nobody wants me. Let me show you what I can do with the goddamn Raiders.
I mean, neither of the quarterbacks have been too impressive there, apparently. So,
yeah. But he is not taking that job by the haunches by any way, shape, or form.
I thought we were talking about Dak and Trey Lance. Hasn't been impressive in Dallas either. Apparently, the new defensive scheme has been really stifling.
Oh yeah, I did hear that Trey threw a couple of picks.
Yeah. I think the most interesting thing is, I can't think. Guyton punched Parsons in the face. Not fist fight this, that, or the other, but they were doing one-on-one reps, and he went to swing at him and missed his pad, like his chest, and literally just struck him across the face and knocked him on his ass.
Tis the season. I feel like, all the good teams have had at least a fight in camp so far.
Well, like I said, it wasn't a fight. It was just he just missed. He missed his hand placement, and that would have been a hands to the face call, essentially, because he straight up decked him in the face. But yeah,
trying to hit the nuance on that, I feel like is a hey, what Charlie Murphy with the 5 fingers say to the face slap. Like, okay, was it technically a slap? Was it technically a joke? No. He got smacked in the face. Going down, Bears are going to start training camp here with HBO. We'll see a little bit more about them. Like you guys mentioned, McCarthy has been struggling in Minnesota.
We got the news today that the Bears and Texans, I believe, was the Hall of Fame game. Essentially, they already came out and said no starters are playing. So, the one interesting thing, though, is they came out and said Damian Pierce will get an extended look in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard like half of the league basically say that their RB2 was going to be part of their game plan. So, we'll see. I'm sure a lot of us will expect the RB2 in a lot of places to have a whole lot of work, and then come week 1, they won't, and it will be just to save the reps of the starter until it actually matters.
Yep. Let's see. The Saints are finding money for their guys. Deontay Johnson's the second coming of Jerry Rice.
And Jonathan Mingo is a superstar also, apparently.
They're having a fun corner battle in New Orleans. Paulson Adebo, Kool-Aid McKinstry, and killing me, I can't think of the other guy's name. Alontae Taylor. Last year, Alontae lost the outside job and had to play the slot. And right now it sounds like he's winning the inside job and the slot's being won by Adebo. And apparently somehow Kool-Aid's in last for the slot, but second for outside. So they're all over the board.
Well, I mean, it is Dennis Allen. If he didn't have some kind of crazy-ass ranking system and way in which this is being rated, it wouldn't be Dennis Allen. Then we talked about the West. That kind of covers things. So what trades have happened since last week? Let's pull those up. Transactions, trades. So we had our emergency pod after that small trade I made last week. Okay, so we have 8 trades that have happened since then. 2/5 for a 4th. Can we ask the commissioners the next time something like this happens to strip all of the picks from the teams and, just skip those picks, like give them to the commish team, and if they're automatically skipped? I think that'd be the right thing to do here.
Second that vote.
I don't disagree.
I'm feeling love for Gus Edwards and Jordan Poyer. I don't know what Bill's doing. Whether you flip Gus Edwards with Trey and Poyer, you flip what you get here with Hendrickson to get Zaven, Trayvon, and Holland, which, as I told you beforehand, I like better than what you gave up.
I don't.
Yeah. So my big thing here is just the 30 and the contract situation. Like, I understand edge rushers can be very good into their older age. But, Trey's hitting 30. He's in a contract year. It doesn't sound like he's going to be back in Cincinnati. It's going to be hard for me to move him with that kind of situation going forward. And the ability to move him into Walker, I liked. And then I understand the breaking down of Gus for, the rest of it. Probably doesn't seem as much. But to me, I just looked at it as would I do Braylon in there instead? So I don't love it. I don't hate it.
Just because you got a deal and you traded Braylon for Gus doesn't mean you give somebody else the same deal.
Well, it also comes to the issue of what's Gus's real value past this year versus what's the value of being able to swap into a younger edge, right?
No. That's offense for defense. That seems senseless to me.
I don't care about 1 year offense. Like,
Sure,
it's like if it was just like, do you know what you get offered for those kinds of players? Because I promise you, I have a Thielen. I saw plenty of offers for Gus before I dealt him, and I didn't have them long, but I got plenty of them. And people are not giving you anything of any kind of significant value. So when you can upgrade at a premium position and get a lot younger, I'm happy with it. Because to me, the other way to look at Trayvon is I'm not necessarily the most thrilled, most excited with him, but if he has another 10-sack season and, Hendricks hit 30, Gus hits 30, Gus, we don't know if he'll have a starting job next year. The RB class next year, I really like. I think that's going to be the kill shot for Gus. And then, just being able to move into Trayvon, because if he has another 10-sack season, how many guys that are his age with his kind of NFL draft pedigree, this, that, and the other, exist in the league, and how many of them are even available for trade? Because you can't buy Kayvon Thibodeau right now. You can't buy Aiden Hutchinson. The only guy that's very much been a first-round draft pick and doesn't suck that you can potentially buy right now is Jalen Phillips, and he's coming off an Achilles.
That's not important.
So you kind of just got to get them when you can get them.
Yeah, I mean, and the other aspect of this is you traded some offense for defense here, but at the same time, you traded 3 30-year-olds for 3 guys under 25 who are in position to potentially score some points here. So it's a better long-term move for you, but it does probably add points to Buccaneers this year. So we're going to need to cut something off of you. Saints moving off of Dortch and a 4th for Basham and a wow. I'm pretty sure I gave Dortch to Saints as a contract dump, and he got a 3rd by moving him with a 4th. So good for him.
He's a starting wide receiver.
Is he?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's starting over Wilson?
Mm-hmm. He's the number 2 there behind Harrison. I know that.
So I'm confused. Is he the number 2 or is he starting?
I think he's slot. I think he's the starting slot, and then it's Wilson and Zay competing for the 2 outside.
Okay.
With that other guy who's pretty good.
Marvin's just the number 1. I don't think there's any question at all. That's not competition. That's a slaughter.
He hadn't gotten mentioned, and we mentioned 2 guys competing for outside, 1 guy in the slot. So I wasn't sure if we were just looking at the wrong year of the roster.
No, we know Marvin's the starter.
Isaiah Spiller, poor little out for our friend James, swapping him for the game breaker, the star of the Niners defensive camp so far, De'Mondre Lennar. Yeah, that's probably the level of response it should get. Caden Ellis for Jake Martin and Landon Roberts. All right, and then I moved 2 rookies and a guy I got from a taxi theft with the Jets 2nd next year for the Giants 1st in 26. So, hooray for me.
That's a decent trade for both of you, actually. I'm surprised you gave up a 2nd along with that stuff.
Well, a first to me in this league, and I don't really hit with the time value of money like a lot of people do. But that said, if I can move, it's probably going to be a late 2nd this year with a guy acquired with a late 2nd, a guy acquired with a comp 3rd, and a guy that I literally got for free, and I can turn a late second into a first, that seems like the right thing to do.
No, I definitely liked it for you because that's essentially, Dylan or nothing in this for him, because I don't really see either of the other two ever gaining enough value to ever be worth the difference between, maybe a whole full round of first to second.
Well, Lobby's been kicking ass in camp, apparently. So I think it's a situation where Pat's bought on the way up. He's probably getting Lobby for cheaper now than he would have to in, 3 or 4 weeks. But at the same time, I still am able to lock in a profit on my investment. So see old Jim Cramer, Bulls make money, Bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. So potential for everybody to win there. So I like those kind of trades when you can pull them off. And then Broncos getting to Marvin Leal. That's just because he played for the Steelers, isn't it?
Probably.
He's a former highly touted recruit out of high school. I don't think he's literally made any noise since he got drafted, though.
Okay. All right, and there we are. So we'll get back to this next week, and we'll do things that we want each team to be doing before the offseason ends. We'll have a little bit more camp news and a little bit better of an idea who's going to IR, who's going to be recovering and still competing, and how these jobs are starting to shake out. But a lot of fun things, so definitely keep an eye out for us. But gentlemen, we're down to 3, but I appreciate James and RJ hanging on and seeing this through with me. But, now we're hopefully going to get to the trades, although we're losing our reputation as trades happening in the post-pod. So we might just have to do something silly so we can get our reputation back.
I'm down. I got a spare quarterback to get rid of, so try to get rid of one of them before the end of the night.
Exactly. I'm down to get in. By the way, you guys have an extra $80 million of cap space, right?
Yeah, I can make it happen.
Totally. Anyways, always good to see you guys. We'll get to the fun part here and try and make some things happen. I like the move to the podcast channel in the Discord, so I think we'll do that again this time. But feel free to join if you'd like, and we'll see if we can make some things happen. But appreciate you guys tuning in. And until next week, good luck with your injuries.